Welcome to the Clemson Insiders on the Beat show. I'm Will Vandervoort, and here but to my left is the state newspaper beat writer Matt Conley, who covers Clemson on a day-to-day basis for the state newspaper. Matt, thanks for coming back with us. Number 2, you're the first guy to come back as a repeat. That means I liked you. That means the fans liked you. I got a lot of good comments that people enjoyed watching you that day, so that's good.
Good deal. Yeah, glad to be here. Glad to be back.
Well, thanks for having us, man. Thanks for joining us, I should say. And, you know, Matt, there's a lot of things to talk about. I think the first thing, you know, I kind of like to hit a little subjects, whatever's going out nationally right now. And I think right now, nationally is the pay-for-play situation going with the image and likeness. We saw a California bill, 206 was passed last week, and
Sure.
and they, you know, so people out there maybe don't know, it basically says that they're giving permission to players at their state universities there in California to be paid for their image and likeness. So in other words, they could do sponsorships or do autograph sessions and things of that nature and get money starting in 2023. There's a lot of other states now that are
South
pushing.
Carolina, they're planning to introduce a bill in January.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go with. Yeah,
so.
they're planning. I like South Carolina is actually pretty good though.
Yeah.
I don't know if I kind of like it where they're saying, you know, they'll pay a player like $5,000 for every year for playing the sport, and then upon graduation they get that money, and now they're going to throw in the image and likeness into that also.
Sure.
And then of course this was done when they first introduced this bill in 2014 when Marcus Lattimore got hurt at the University of South Carolina, broke his leg, and I kind of like that. I don't have a problem with it because the reason I don't have a problem with it is you're able to give them money, but you're also putting an incentive in that they can't get it till after they graduate. I like that because then you were 18 years old, right? Remember that? I was 18 years old. If somebody handed you $5,000 at the beginning of the year, how well would you have taken care of that money? Let's be honest.
Probably not great.
No, I know I wouldn't have.
I don't know. My thought on it is, and I'm kind of a little different than you in that I'm okay with them getting the money for their name, image, and likeness, but I'm okay with them having it during school. You know, I talked with Isaiah Simmons about it a little bit, and his kind of stance was that, you know, there are some people, no, we're not necessarily starving and hurt for money in that sense, but, you know, parents traveling to come to games need money for that kind of stuff. If you want to go out and take your girlfriend out or take your mom out for a meal or something like that, you know, you don't have a ton of money to kind of left over at the end of the money that they do get for the full tuition cost and that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of the sense, and if you want to go and sell your autographs and make money that way, you know, if you want to put on an autograph show, something like that, if you want to do advertisements, I'm kind of okay with you getting that money. Now, I do think there needs to be a limit, right? So you can't say, you know, John Doe that owns a tractor store is going to pay me $2 million to come in here and advertise some tractors with them. I think there needs to be a limit as far as how much you can earn.
Right.
But I do think that, you know, if you want to get money for jersey sales or that kind of stuff, you should be able to. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I see your point with the autograph sessions and maybe if they do a sponsorship at whatever dealership name put here. You know, we don't have a sponsor yet, but if you'd like to, we wouldn't mind that.
Sure, we'll sell your name.
We'll sell your name. That part of it I can understand a lot, but when it comes to like the jersey sales and stuff, I think that should be thrown in with the initiative to graduate. Because I'm with Dabo on the sense, and Dabo, you know, he sort of said what Isaiah said a little bit, like, you know, the parents having money.
Right.
You know, to Dabo, that's important, like, you know, because they got to travel to these games. They want to see their kid play. And you know, Dabo probably remembers that his mama couldn't come watch him play some places because she didn't have the money.
Sure.
You know, and so I think he gets that and understands that. And I think a lot of us do. And but I think, you know, if you're Trevor Lawrence, let's say, and say there's a video game made, the one we all love, NCAA football,
right,
by EA Sports. If that game is made and Trevor Lawrence's likeness is on there, well, Trevor's going to get a lot of money, more than likely, for that. Now, Trevor, I think, would handle that well and would be fine. But there's some players that are probably like, what am I doing here? I don't need to be in school. And they don't see, and I think what Dabo's concern is, and some other coaches across the country, is that really do care. And that's the thing here. People forget Dabo really cares about the well-being of players. And he talked about how, you know, he sees some of his buddies from his Alabama days that didn't care about school and stuff, and he sees them, and he'll go to these team functions they have, reunions, and he sees a guy who's, football's over for him, and he's not doing well, as far as finances go and stuff like that. He's not doing well because, he put all his marbles into just being a football player, and when that didn't work out, he had no plan B. And I think Dabo's concern, and a lot of other coaches across the country's concern is, hey, this could, you can get players in there that'll be just like, you know what, I don't need to graduate. I'm going to make me about whatever dollars I can make here. Then I'm going to go to the NFL.
Right.
And I think Dabo's whole point is, no, let's put it on the back end because now they got incentive to graduate because they really still need to get that degree for post-football.
Yeah.
And I think, and I've talked with some people too that, and that's kind of what their concern is.
Yeah, maybe there could be a compromise where you get a certain amount now, enough to kind of make sure that you're able to go out and do some things if you want to.
Like autographs and stuff like that.
Yeah, and be able to, take your girlfriend out to dinner, go bowling, go to the movies, that kind of stuff, and not have to worry about it as much and can fly your parents into games and that kind of stuff. But also there's an incentive to graduate to where you get a portion of it, maybe even 60-70% of that money that you earn throughout your college career you get after you graduate. I would be fine with that. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think that makes a lot of sense. And this is the thing I worry about with this law, is that the fact that, okay, I want to know what LeBron James's real incentive is here, okay? And now call me negative Nancy or whatever you want to call me here, but I'm old enough to know that there's two sides to every story, and there's a reason why somebody's doing something. So I want to know, for those guys who are really pushing this hard, what their catch is in all this. Because I don't think LeBron James is all about, I'm so worried about Trevor Lawrence back here at Clemson and making sure he's being taken care of. I don't think LeBron James, with all his millions of dollars, 3,000 miles away, really cares about Trevor Lawrence.
I honestly haven't seen what LeBron said about it.
Well, he was there when the bill was passed, when the governor, he was all up in it. It had to be on his little show and all that. Why? Why? And why are these other professional players pushing it so much that really don't have, I'm wondering what the reason is. It's like, is this something to do because of the whole, what we saw with basketball last year? People don't want to get in trouble anymore and they want to make sure things are legal. It's kind of funny. This all comes down after basketball, after what happens last year with basketball.
LeBron obviously was never in this situation, going straight from high school to the pros.
Exactly. Another reason why I thought that.
But I think there are some former Clemson players and probably college athletes in general that kind of saw either it was them or their teammates that had parents that maybe couldn't come to games or that kind of struggle some, and so they'd like to see it better for other people.
Well, those people I understand.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the people out in front of the cameras, not the people we don't see.
Sure, and maybe that's agent. Maybe some of his friends that are agents, maybe they get involved and they end up getting a little. Maybe agents end up being able to get involved and help sign guys to endorsement deals. Who knows down the road?
Yeah. What's in it for me? That's right. That's
it's a question that's worth asking. I just think it's a good first step. At least I think it's good that we're having the conversation, and then it's at least.
No, that is the best part. Yeah.
Because you look at what college salaries were for coaches, however many, 10, 15 years ago, and they're nowhere near what they are now. You look at Dabo making $9.3 million compared to what it was 20 years ago, where coaches were making a couple $100,000. Tickets for games now, you're paying $80, $90, $100 compared to $15, $20.
That's the market.
20 years ago. Correct, that's the market, but this also shows what a business it is, and that it's not.
And think about it. 30 years ago, Danny Ford signed a contract where he made like $200,000 a year, which was one of the biggest in the country at the time. Now, you compare that's like a $400,000 increase from him to Dabo Swinney. 400% increase, I should say. So, yes, that's big. However, if you compared Danny Ford's salary in 1989 to the average man's salary, it was way higher. Because, me and you could have bought a car for like $7,000 in 1989.
The inflation's not.
So how much does it cost? My same truck out there only cost $4,000 in 1989. It costs about $30,000 more now.
It's not 400% though. It's a decent amount, but I don't think it's.
No, I don't think it's 400%, but it still was large.
Sure.
It's always been large. That's why they were head football coaches back then in the big programs. That's why. You think Bear Bryant wanted to coach at Alabama just because he wanted to coach at Alabama? No, I think he wanted to get paid, and he did get paid. It all kind of started there. That's why I bring up Bear Bryant. That's where it all began. Right. But I get it. I'm not totally saying players this or this, and there's a whole bunch of NCAA. I think it's on its way. I think it's going to happen. I'm with you. I think it's good that it's being talked about at least, because it's better than brushing it under the rug and nobody talk about it, act like it's not happening. I think the NCAA, this is forcing the NCAA to have to handle it some way,
right,
whatever way that is. But I think that can be good for the NCAA and for student athletes going forward. But let's not forget that first thing I said there, student athletes, or what they are. And that's something we need to keep in mind as this thing goes forward. We'll switch gears, though, because there is a football game finally this week. After taking a week off, I'm sure you were like me, didn't really enjoy the bye week in the sense of from a work standpoint, because we didn't get much availability, and so that always sucks.
Yeah. I kind of enjoyed having a little downtime, though. Got to watch some games. And
I enjoyed Saturday. Saturday was great, watching all the football games.
Watch my Boilermakers struggle again. But
yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I thought about you during that. I actually said Matt's not happy right now.
Got to spend some good family time, though, so it was good.
That's good.
Good bye week.
Yeah, get your 2 kids and your wife, and I'm sure she was happy to have you around.
She was. For the most part.
For the most part. Not you being in a press box till 3 a.m.
Right. Yeah, that was good.
The next couple of weeks are great for us, though. We got a 3:30 kickoff and we got a noon kickoff. How about that?
We'll be done at a decent hour, so maybe we can get to watch a little bit of the late games.
Yeah,
so
makes it
nice.
Makes our job a whole lot better. I know you fans out there love night games and you want it to rock in the valley and all that. We don't. We want to be out of there by 3:30 or 4 o'clock if we could in the afternoon, not the morning, which is what we mostly do with Clemson being on this run right now. But Matt, let's talk about this game with Florida State Saturday, 3:30 in Death Valley. This is an interesting game because I think Clemson came off this week as a little bit of a chip on their shoulder from all the negative attention they've gotten from the media following that North Carolina game.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Dabo brought it up today. The rest of y'all buses back. The Roy bus
took the tarp off.
He said he took the tarp off. Got the oil change. He said he got a $5 oil change, which I don't know where you get that. I need to find where that's at. But yeah,
you got to put a 0 in front of mine. I mean, right behind my 5.
Right.
5-0.
Got the tires pumped back up. So yeah, I mean he's definitely. He has fun with that every year, kind of finding different ways to motivate guys, and he's definitely having fun with that again this year. So he said he wasn't sure he was going to be able to break it out, but after they had the 1-point win and got a little criticism after the North Carolina game, and you've got people out there dropping them out of their top 4 and saying they don't like a playoff team and that kind of stuff. I think Dabo, deep down, is probably glad that's going on. He's for sure using that as motivation. He's one of the best motivators in the country, if not the best, at kind of finding ways to get his guys going, and so I'm sure he has no problem. Trevor Lawrence said yesterday, everyone thinks we suck now, and so that's good.
That's it.
So
yeah.
I'm not sure everyone quite thinks they suck, but
I don't think anybody said that, but that's okay.
Not that exactly, but
it was a good quote for us.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean they're definitely kind of enjoying people starting to doubt them a little bit and going to use that as motivation for sure.
Yeah, James Skowski brought out the whole, they don't want little old Clemson to dominate. That's what it's all about. Your thoughts, though, as a objective thought as a media guy, of what you think the national media's perspective is of Clemson right now, because I mean I kind of understand where Clemson's coming from in the sense of, okay, we've done this and this. It doesn't seem like you're giving us the same respect you give a lot in Alabama. If they were to barely win a game but still win, you would probably, in their thinking now, you'd probably be out there saying, oh, Alabama is the, look how great they are. Even when they didn't play good, they found a way to win. Where Clemson's kind of thinking, well, why don't you give us that kind of thing? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think the media's out to get Clemson? That's basically what I'm asking.
I'm kind of in the middle. I mean, I don't think the media is out to get Clemson.
National media, because we definitely are not.
My thought is, it's okay to be critical when they don't play great, and if you say best is a standard, and that's what we want to live up to, and go into the year and say we're going to have the best offense in the country. That's our goal, and when you only score on 3 drives against North Carolina and aren't playing your best, and I think, and they said it after the game that wasn't our best. We didn't play well.
Yeah, they've
we
owned
had some
it.
things to improve.
Yeah.
So, I think I'm kind of at the point where I think it's okay to look and say, okay, what went wrong? Why did this go wrong? Let's break it down. If you want to drop Clemson out of the top spot, I'm fine with that. Drop them to 2 or 3 or so. You lose me when you say, move them out of the top 8, move them out of the top 6. They're not one of the top teams. They can't win a national championship, that kind of stuff. I think that kind of stuff's crazy. Mm-hmm. But I also think that it's okay to say, yeah, they didn't play great this game. There's some things that they need to clean up. If they're going to have a chance to repeat as national champions, they're going to have to play a lot better. So I'm kind of in the middle to where you look for why things went wrong, what kind of went wrong, and then what do they have to do to
fix
improve.
it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think, in the grand scheme of things, it's what the team has done to try to get better for what caused them to almost lose that game. And we heard Jamie and those guys say, yesterday, Trevor say, hey, look, we didn't practice very well, and so, but, the last thing here, though, is the thing that I brought up, the thing that struck me. And I think, I don't know if this, because I haven't talked to Dabo and them privately about this, but the thing that struck me was where you got a little of the disrespect card came from this week's rankings. I'm with you. If how a team plays, you do your polls week to week, right? So if 2 teams are idle and those 2 teams are 1 and 2, how is it in the coaches poll you lose 10 first place votes to that same team who was idle, and then in the writers poll, not as bad, but you lose 3 first place votes to that team that was idle. You were both idle. That to me was like, really? I mean, what changed from those 2 teams when they were both idle? What changed? You know what I'm saying? That made no sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to make sense of that. The only thing I can figure is, I know those polls are people that are doing those polls.
They're subjective.
I just think that it's, when they're doing those polls, a lot of times they're doing it late at night after they just finished covering their game. So maybe the previous week they just finished covering a game at 2 a.m. and they look and see, oh, Clemson won, and go ahead and keep Clemson number 1. And then they go back and look at the week and kind of break down the stats more, see it was only 1-point victory, kind of look into it a little more. Maybe that's where it came from. I just know it can be kind of, from having some friends that have done it in the past, it can be kind of stressful doing that. So maybe that's where it came from.
Yeah, well, I've done it before. Of course, I'm a nerd about it, though. I mean, I kept my poll each week, so I kind of know. I mean, I'm a little nerdy about it when I did it. But I see your point, and that makes sense for the writers. However, only 3 writers did it. Right. So it wasn't as big a deal on the writer's side as it was the coaches, where it was 10.
Yeah.
That's the one that really stuck out to me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't really have an answer for that.
But you could see, I guess my point being is you could see why that would make them a little feel disrespected there when that happens, right? Especially when that team in front of them is the one they beat the snot out of 9 months ago.
Now, I will say, they say all the time we don't care about the polls, and I think they probably care a little bit. But I don't know. They do. I don't know how much they're looking into first place votes. Maybe they are. I mean, I'm sure Dabo looks for every little thing he can for motivation.
I think they did. I'm with you.
It wouldn't surprise me if that's something he brought up to the team is, hey, we dropped some first place votes, even though we won and we were off this week and they were off as well. So who knows? Regardless,
it's interesting, and that's really all it is. It's just interest, and it's what he thinks and that thinks and what we think. We don't agree on everything, as you saw here, but that's okay. We're still friends. We get along. We enjoy each other's company, right?
We do, very much.
So anyway, that's all we got here on The Beat. Appreciate y'all guys joining us. For Matt Conley, I'm Will Vandervoort. Stay tuned to the Clemson Insider. We'll have coverage leading up to the Florida State game all week. We'll see you on the other side.